Time for a little garden update here. I wasn't planning on making a big garden this year, but it turned out to be about a medium-sized garden, I guess. We got a couple of tomato plants. The wife wanted some dill. This is where Buzz's Saudi Arabian potatoes were. I went ahead and planted my cucumbers there now. Now if they die, of course we'll know why. Just 3 plants of that, a couple more tomatoes, a little more dill. It's doing pretty good so far. We're going to have a big rain here shortly, and then we'll go over and look at the potatoes here in a second. Over here I got 3 bell peppers in. This is the dirt I transported from the hoop house up here. Wasn't that difficult. And then over here, this is the dirt that we planted the corn in last year to get rid of the nitrogen. So I put it there, and we're going to try growing our radishes again. I just planted 7 rows, which includes French breakfast, white radishes, a half a row of white, and the rest are just, you know, those little round cherry bell types. Here we're going to plant some Alyssa Craig onions and some bulb onions, white ones. And I'm going to do a little bit different this year. It didn't work last time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant the Alyssa Craig seeds in this thing right here. We're going to put it right down in there, then I'm going to plant the entire thing down in the soil. All of our potatoes, almost all of them, are blooming now. I've never had potatoes bloom that much. Getting a little windy here too because we're fixing to get a little rain. We've got blooms everywhere. Never had quite this many. Pretty little things. They're blooming everywhere. These are the Alyssa Craig onions that seeds that I have left from our good subscriber Gordon Cole. Sent them to me, well, I guess 2 years ago. They didn't turn out so good the first year, but I'm going to do it differently. Like I said, I'm going to just put 2 seeds in each one until I run out of seeds or run out of these little growing pods. Then we're going to stick those little pods in the ground. Hope for the best. Well, we had quite a few of those seeds left, enough for next year even. We're going to go ahead and poke those things down in there like that. Some of these got 3 seeds in them. They drop down in there. Kind of hard to handle with old hands like mine. These seeds are really tiny. Once we get them down in there, then we're going to go ahead and just plant. That's all. By the way, for those who've never seen these things, you buy them at Walmart. They're round discs and they're only about that thick. But when you wet them, they swell up into little bags. And then I'm closing the tops now a little bit to make sure the seeds are down below the surface of the soil. I don't want anything exposed too much right now. These aren't probably going to work, but we're going to give it a try anyway. Well, there we go. They're all about the same depth, and I got them pretty much standing up straight. I'm just going to cover them up now, just like that. See what happens. I mean, you know, what's the worst that can happen? They don't grow. Then I'll know how Buzz feels about his potatoes here. Anyway, now we're going to have to plant this. The last thing to plant. White onions, bulbs, 5 inches deep. Plant, oh, maybe a couple of rows, see what happens. Anyway, that's what's going on with the garden. So I've been working like a dog on this, and at the same time, I've been doing a few things in the shop here. I'm not doing a whole lot in the shop because I'm trying to save some money. In 2 weeks, we got ham benching up in Ohio. There's about 9 of us from our local ham radio club is going to go up. That's usually a pretty expensive affair. I'll be up there. Well, we're going to be gone 5 days, so when I get back, I'll have about, I don't know, 7 or 8 days left of work before I retire. But anyway, here's a little something that's been going on. I haven't done a whole lot, but I did do something. I moved a few of the radios out here, and my son-in-law, unfortunately, is still down for the count a little bit. And after having that accident where that lady hit him in the back, but the wife wanted some of the stuff moved out of the spare bedroom, so we got some of it out. Plus, I have this extension cord coming in here to a box, to a power cord, up and around, and over to the fluorescent lights that I finally got mounted in the ceiling. And all I have to do now, until my son-in-law can get here and hardwire this thing, I had to do a workaround. And all I have to do is point this box toward that receiver. And there we go. They're all lit up. That's pretty cool, huh? It's just a temporary workaround. I wired them in parallel and then ran them down to that receiver box, and then I have this on and off deal. Pretty neat, I think. Give me a chance to work in here, and you know, if it's too rainy and it gets dark and I feel like fiddle farting around, I can. I haven't built any benches yet, but like I said, that costs a lot of money. But I do have sealer, a gallon of sealer for the floor and some 2x4s. Next weekend, get down there, you. Next weekend, we're going to build a door for this thing. We're going to have this a door. And that'll pretty much complete it all, except for the tile. And I'll probably pick up the tile when I get back from ham benching. We'll get a few drapes on the windows to make it look a little bit better. So that's what's going on with that, okay guys? Just a temporary workaround. That extension cord going in, by the way, is one of those outside high price jobs for use outside. And it just runs all the way back and plugs into an outlet in the laundry room. And that receiver box, this before some of you start screaming, I know somebody's going to say, oh, well, can the box handle 3 lights? Yes, it can handle up to 15 amps, okay, of non-resistive lighting. Resistive lighting, I already discussed this with Brendan. You know, we're talking just standard incandescent light bulbs versus, you know, the fluorescent type. The fluorescent type, things of that nature, LEDs, 15 amps, okay? So we're good to go. Last but not least, look at my workbench again. Every time I clean it off, it winds up looking like this within a month. Well, guess what? Tomorrow, I've done the garden. I put the lights in the shop. Tomorrow, this thing is going to get a complete cleaning once again, and then we're going to go ahead and go back to working on our speaker. And our speaker rebuild will be our next video. No more Mish-Mash videos until the speaker gets put back together. I'm looking forward to that, and I've got to get all this paint. I have a little bit more painting to do, you know, but one inconvenience about that garage out there is every time you need something, you got to run out to it, back and forth, back and forth. I didn't like that. But you know, you suck it up. And one other thing, for those of you who watch my videos, you know that Ron C., one of our good subscribers, Ron C., he sent me a retirement gift of Hallicrafter's SX43. Heck of a guy, you know. I still kind of feel bad about that. I need a speaker for it, but it takes a 500 ohm speaker. And I discussed it again with Brendan. I said, what do we do? You know, we're going to have a small workaround on that, because I really don't want to buy a speaker right now, because we got ham benching coming up, like I've already mentioned. He said, don't worry about it. You know, you can go with a public address system, 70 volt transformer. It's a line matching impedance transformer. He said you can pick them up cheap. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and use, matter of fact, as it turns out, I do have already, that I've been using as a test speaker. I have this PA, this public address system speaker. That's the ones that go in the ceiling, you know. And they take a 70 volt impedance. This is a 8 ohm, I think. And it takes a 70 volt line matching transformer. So all I have to do is pick one of those up, hook it to the back of the radio for test purposes, and hook it to there, and we're good to go. So that's what's on the agenda for tomorrow. Clean things up. My God, it looks horrible. Until next time, hope you had fun with this one. Looking at some plants. Those of you who like the gardens, you know, and those of you who've been wanting an update on the shop, and those of you who've been, you know, now know what you can do with a 500 ohm speaker requirement. So that's it. Until next time, this is John.